Alright friends, let's take a look at the book that we're reading for today. What's the title of the book that we have today? Can you try to sound out the title? Okay, so Nasworthy, that was a really tricky word, and that's the person's last name who this book is about. Can you find a word that's hidden in his last name that you already know?
Worthy.
Worthy, okay. Is that how you were able to figure out what his last name was? Okay. If we remember that word that we have had in the past, what does worthy mean?
It means like worthy means when you're like worthy or something.
Can you give me a definition without using the word that we're trying to define?
It means something like important.
Okay. What does it mean? What do you think that word means? Worthy. So I kind of get what you're trying to say. You're worthy of something. So that means you are... It's kind of like you're deserving of it. Okay? Alright. So who is this story by?
Gary Moore.
Okay. Now we talked a little bit about series. Is this a series book? Is this book a part of a series?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How about you let Yusuf know how you knew that?
I just looked at the bottom right corner, and it says remarkable inventions.
So for the past week or two, we have been looking at books about remarkable inventions, people who have invented different things. So is this story fiction or nonfiction?
Non-fiction.
How do you know?
Yeah, I know because it's like a real picture of someone, and it's
Okay.
about a person.
All right, let's open up our book too. Can you find other examples to let me know that you know this is nonfiction? There's plenty of examples in here. Do you have one? Okay, so an actual real photo. Now this is a black and white photo. So is this a real picture from now or back in the day?
Back in the day.
What else can you find to help us with knowing if this book is fiction or nonfiction?
It's a girl skateboarding.
Will that tell us if it's fiction or nonfiction? Could it be a fiction book about a girl skateboarding? Okay.
What's real picture?
Okay. So other than real pictures, what are some other things? Because both of you are telling me about real pictures, and that's true. But what are some other reasons that we know this is a nonfiction book?
The trucks.
That's it? What are elements of nonfiction books? Is there something special in the back of nonfiction books? Or in the front of them, in the beginning?
I think
What do you see there?
The book content.
Okay. What do we see in the back of our book? Those are nonfiction characteristics. Let's just turn to a random page in our book. All of these pages are giving us examples. Let's look at page 12. Is there something on this page that is a characteristic of a nonfiction book?
I think the
Okay, the caption down here. Very good. What else? That's not a characteristic of a nonfiction book. So we have a caption here. The title, the headline. Very good. Okay. Who do you think Frank Nasworthy is?
I think
I'm going to take him first. Okay.
A pro skateboarder.
Do you agree? Very good. Okay, so let's start reading our book. I'm going to let you start. Okay, nice and loud, not silent.
flying through the streets. Have you ever seen skateboarders jump down to a set of stairs on their boards? They can race down sidewalks and soar over bridges.
Yeah,
They
you
do
start.
even more amazing.
And they could do even
No,
more
you start from the
amazing
beginning.
Have you ever seen
You keep reading
skateboarders
as well.
jump down
You keep reading
a
as well.
s-
Nice
a
and
set
loud.
of stairs
Today's
on their
skateboarding
board?
is more popular in Japan.
They can race down
About
sidewalks
40
and
years
soar
If
over
they
benches. They can
not
do
for a skateboarder
even
named
more
Frank
amazing
Nasworthy,
tricks when
skateboard might
they
be
fly
something
through
you
the
see
air
only
in skate parks.
But Frank Nasworthy
How do they do it?
had no idea.
Today's skateboarding is more popular than ever, but it almost died out about 40 years ago. If it were not for a skateboarder named Frank Nasworthy, a skateboard might be something you only see in a museum. But Frank Nasworthy had an idea. It was a little idea, but it changed skateboarding forever.
Okay. All right, Yusuf and Brian, very good reading. Let's stay on page 2 for now, 2 and 3. I want you to find the word soar and point to it. What does that word mean?
Fly.
Fly? Okay. Can you think of any other words that are like soar and fly?
You look in Vegas.
Okay. So if we think about the word soar, we know that birds soar, they fly in the air. How else might you use the word soar in a sentence?
If there's another word for that, it means sword. Going back to swords.
You're right, but it's spelled different, so they sound alike but spelled very different. If you take a look outside of my door, you don't have to do it right now. I'm not sure if you've noticed it, but I have out there, let's soar into a great year. Did I literally mean fly?
No.
Okay.
Like, try to do your best and stuff.
I'm agreeing with
And
you.
there's another
Let's
meaning for
succeed
soar.
and do our best.
There's another meaning for soar.
Okay.
Floating.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I'm going to read a quote from page 3, okay? I want you to put your finger on if, and you can read along with me. It says, if it were not for a skateboarder named Frank Nasworthy, a skateboard might be something you only see in a museum.
Something ancient, like it used to be one time ago.
Okay. So, why is Frank Nasworthy so important that it's because of him that we use them today? Let's make a prediction of why we think that might be the case. What do you think?
I think it's because it's a like, sport.
Okay, it is considered, some people consider it a
Maybe
sport.
because there was like no skate parks.
So let's make a prediction. What do you think he might have done differently? So that skateboards are not just something of the past and we use them today. What do you think he might have done?
It's a skateboard.
Mm-hmm. We're just making predictions. No answers or wrong answer. We're just making
I
predictions.
think he used to do tricks and he used to try.
And other people just only ride.
Oh, okay. So you think he might have invented tricks
Yeah. And then he called it skateboarding.
and just called it skateboarding? Okay. Let's keep reading to find out. How about this time you start out?
To understand why Frank's little idea was such a big deal, it helps to understand the early days of skateboarding. No one is sure where or
You can start now.
No one is sure where
the first skateboard was invented, but it was probably back in the 1940s. At some point, some clever kid named Neil
Clever kid. Nail.
a wooden box or a
If you skip these words, go back.
to a wooden box
because kids had to live their
or a board
some of those homemade
and took a ride.
Pause. Period.
The ride was probably wasn't very smooth, but it was exciting. They weren't very many skateboards at first because kids had to make their own skateboards. Some of those homemade boards were pretty clunky.
That's a new word in our vocabulary, right? Okay, we're gonna talk about that in a minute.
But the idea caught on by 1960. Companies had begun to make and sell skateboards like Zoomies.
Oh, you know lots of skateboards.
Yeah, my big brother has a magazine on Zoomies.
Oh, wow. So you already have some background knowledge on skateboards. What does clunky mean?
Like, I forgot it, but it was like a bump, maybe something.
Okay, so it makes you think of being bumpy. Let's take a look at this old skateboard of this little boy from a long time ago.
I know it would.
Okay, it's made out of wood. Think about the size and thickness. Does it look like our skateboards today?
No.
Now they actually made
Skateboards
it.
are actually more
Yeah, they're skinny and thin,
Yeah,
right?
now they actually made it electric.
and like bendable.
Oh yeah, I think I'm
It's a booster.
the one that moves.
It's a remote.
Yeah, those are cool. Okay, so clunky means heavy, large. When were skateboards first invented?
1940s.
Do we know exactly when?
No, we don't.
Not exactly right. Very good. How come it says there weren't many skateboards?
Because
Yeah, raise hand.
Because kids had to make their own, and some kids didn't start for them to make it.
I can imagine it probably would have been a little hard for me. What about you?
I think it's maybe.
on these like 4 nails, 1 truck, 2 trucks, 4 wheels, 1 board, 1 deck, and just
Oh, you have it all figured out. All right.
I love my own.
Okay, boys, I'm going to ask that you just read page 6 silently to yourself. Well done. All right, give me a thumbs up when you're done with page 6. Okay, so we're talking about skateboarding, but on page 6 it mentions another sport that is very popular, especially in hot areas like Florida or maybe California. How does skateboarding compare to surfing? You just ride this one.
Because they both on the boards. It's
Okay.
kind of like moving, but the board has wheels. You have each of your feet.
Use your feet to push on.
This water plays.
And there's 2 different ways, regular and goofy.
Okay. What do they call skateboarding? What's another name for it?
Skating.
See if you can find it. Another cool name for it.
Oh. Sidewalk surfing.
Sidewalk surfing.
What? Oh.
So who were some of the first people to even give skateboarding a try? Him too, but other than Frank Nasworthy. Look over page 6. Go back to your text to find evidence to support your answer. So other than Frank Nasworthy, what kind of people?
Patty McGee.
Were you just on page 6? That's page 7. On page 6?
Surfers.
Yeah, surfers. So they were some of the first people to give skateboarding a try. That's why skateboarding, another name for it, is sidewalk surfing. This is something new that I learned. I did not know that at first. All right, Brianna.